Hello, everybody. Welcome to the third installment of the Workflow Workshop. If that's what you're here for, you're in the right place. Thank you for joining us this Tuesday afternoon or morning, depending on where you're joining from. We'd love to know, by the way, where people are calling in from. Errol and myself, we are based in Toronto. The weather is lovely. We finally come out of that sort of wet spring that persisted for ages. So it's super sunny out there. Well, please feel free to use the chat to share where you're calling in from. And we'll get started right away. So today we're talking about how to manage jobs without the chaos. Your presenters, as always, are myself, Mattis. I lead content and host here, and Errol, who is our senior product education specialist. As I always say, has done countless thousands probably of implementations and customizations of all types of method. I don't know if there's a more knowledgeable person when it comes to a platform
Oh, there's
on the
lots.
team.
There's many
There's
knowledgeable
many.
people. Let's not pin that on me. Yeah, there's many.
You don't want to bear that responsibility.
I do not.
Well, for the next 30 minutes, you are, because certainly you will be the more knowledgeable one of us two. With that said, for anybody who is new to Method, a quick overview of Method CRM. We are, of course, the customizable CRM for QuickBooks. What does it mean to say for QuickBooks? Well, every field, especially the most pertinent fields for you inside QuickBooks and Method, have an instant bidirectional sync, meaning that the things that happen in your CRM, and you can decide on which those things are, and things that happen in QuickBooks flow back and forth, meaning that you have a clear reflection of the sales and activities of your company back inside of your accounting and vice versa. And of course, it's an extremely customizable CRM. We say yes to an overwhelming majority of customizations that people propose to us as a possibility of what we can do and build with the system. So that's a little primer about Method. And I see people posting in the chat where they're calling in from. Great to see. We have a whole lot of people: New York, Florida, Oregon. Got somebody else from Toronto. Amazing. Okay, so today we're talking about jobs. And the big problem with jobs is they get messy, right? And sometimes things get completed by what feels like a hair's breadth because we have data flowing across multiple people, multiple field service reps. We have a dispatcher who's probably, trying to pull their hair out because of how many things they have to reconcile and track. So we want to avoid all of that. That's what we want to fix for you today. And before we dive into what Errol's going to show us, just a quick story from a recent customer we spoke with. They're called Go Powertrain. A little bit about them. They're a company that's been around since 2014. Aaron, their CEO, started the business, and it's a pretty serious operation now, right? They focus on automotive components, right? Engines, transmissions, all types of stuff. There's a lot of moving parts. The jobs can range from anything that's quite small to complex and extended. You have to track all of these parts. You have to understand what is happening with each job and keep a log of them. So they were struggling. And if we flip to the next slide, some of the challenges they were facing, right? They didn't have a unified system. It took them, and they counted this out, 60 steps to actually go from estimate to then sales order to then invoice. It's a pretty wild amount of steps. They didn't really have great visibility into KPIs and how each customer was doing. And their inventory stock fill rate, right, which is how quickly they kind of service the parts based on what they have whenever customers want them, was 20%, which is a challenge. So what they did is they came to Method, and if we flip to the next slide, we'll see some of the stuff that they built. I'm not going to go through every single thing in detail. I encourage folks to go to our website and check out the case study where you can read about it in a little bit more detail. But they moved to Method. Their process literally got 10 times more efficient in the sense that they just have 6 steps to go from that estimate to sales order to invoice. They built out an entire warranty claim tracking system in the CRM. They have a tailor-made inventory tracking system and a robust contact management approach. So the results of all of this, if we flip to the next slide, is, according to Aaron, saving them a tremendous amount of money. They've actually doubled their inventory fill rate, have a lot more visibility, and they feel much more confident scaling the business. And that's really what we're talking about today is that actual service component. How do you get it all organized? So with that, we're gonna flip over to you, Errol, and we're gonna talk about keeping sales opportunities organized, how to move from the opportunity to the work order, how to keep jobs on track, especially as you go through complex workflows. And then we'll take a quick look at what a custom workflow might look like. So that's all for me. Over to you, my friend.
Great. Thanks so much, Mattis. Now, I am here and I'm only going to show Method today. I know in the past couple of webinars, we did show that sync between QuickBooks and Method, and hopefully we've made that case that it's an amazing sync. So I'm not going to show that again. And I'd have to open up QuickBooks and it's somewhere. So I'm not going to do that. What we're going to do is I'm going to show you different workflows in Method. And I know I'm having a long preamble, but in the past, in the very first webinar, I showed you a particular workflow. And then in the second webinar, we talked about proposals, another workflow. And you may be getting the sense there's a lot of workflows, and that's because Method is very flexible. So I know we get a lot of questions when to use one or the other, and a lot of it is dependent on your industry and why I would highly suggest too for you to talk to your account manager as well so that they can have a better idea of what your processes are and then maybe be able to suggest a workflow that fits for you. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at opportunities and we're going to take a look at work orders and then we're going to take a look at jobs. Now, if you have used Method and if you aren't familiar with it, I'm going to walk through it anyway. We're going to go and take a look at our customers, and I'm going to open up our customer. And what if you've been using Method, you may go into your customer calls and is probably interested in a new service that they want to do. And so you probably would create a new activity. And then maybe from there, you'd go in and you'd create a new estimate because they were interested in some type of service. And then, you'd convert it over to an invoice. And that is for a very simplistic workflow. And there's nothing wrong with that. However, once you have a customer that's been with you for a long time, they're quite mature now. Like, look at the Amy, she's got like 23 of these, and there could be far more than just 23 activities closed. Maybe she's been with you for 20 years. And then after that, this is great to see your history and maybe your current, but if you have a number of people that log in this account alone, Mattis can log into this account, Michelle can log into this account, right? And they may be dealing with other aspects of the company. So Amy Ford is part of Sanford Company Art Gallery, but let's say Amy Ford is talking to me about, I don't know, maybe she's talking to me about catering. That doesn't make sense for the business I'm working in, but maybe she's talking to Mattis about, getting something else fixed. And then it would be confusing if there's multiple activities open and I have to see which ones are for me. I only have one in there, but so on. So that's where we're bringing in the different workflows like opportunities because it helps organize. It also helps contain everything related to that particular sales flow. So an opportunity is a way for you to keep track of potential sales. So it's not the actual project itself, but it can lead to it. At the beginning, however, once, let's say Amy does call, she might decide that she's interested in a brand new opportunity and wants to, I don't know, the best for you services, we're a rink company. So let's go ahead. And she's interested in a brand new rink. And so I'm going to create this new rink for Amy. And as you can see here, the way that the opportunity works, we can keep track of the different stages we're in. She's just interested in it. And then the great thing about an opportunity is, as I said before, it is a container and everything related to just this opportunity is all available here at your fingertips. So I don't actually have anything related right now. So let me go in and, I can put in a new activity that she called me and interested in rank. I probably should have done that at the beginning, but we're going to do phone call incoming, and so on. And then we're done. And yeah, let's just save and back that. And once this is saved, you will see that over here, that's closed. I have created an activity that is just for this opportunity. And everything, any interaction, any transaction that I create for this will be collected here. Now, you may be wondering yourself, well, why don't I just create an estimate and go straight from there? And why do I have to open up an opportunity? And again, it depends on your workflow. But one nice thing about an opportunity is that you can even use it to create drafts of something. I have over here, add an item to opportunity. And let's say we'll add in some connectors and then we'll add in some rink liners. And for those of you very familiar with creating ice rinks, you'll think that's not what you do at all. And it's like, I don't know. I've never actually made an ice rink before, but I can put in some stuff in here, and so on. And now that I've made this draft from here, I can go ahead and create this estimate. It's going to take the line items from there and it will create all of it available to us. And now we can send this estimate off to Amy. I could print it off or I could send it via an email. I think I showed it in the first webinar that then it's available to her in her portal where she can approve it. Now, or she can say no, she doesn't like it at all. And she can talk to you and she says she doesn't like it. And from here we can go back and she could say, let's just say she don't want handrails, do not include, right? She doesn't want handrails at all because she likes to live dangerously. No more handrails. We're going to skate with abandon. And so I'm just going to add that in there. We don't want that included. So when I go ahead and create this estimate now, I can see, oh yeah, we're not including that, and I'll just remove that. However, we do still have this paper trail of everything we have offered to her. And now I've created a second estimate and you will actually be able to see all of them that are here. And what I should have done to the first estimate, if I didn't go through the whole portal route, but she would have declined it. So that would have shown up as, I've been rejected. So I'll just put that in as rejected. And again, that makes me sad. But anyway, so the reason that you'll have an opportunity is that you can keep track of everything related to the sale as you're trying to nurture your relationship and try to convince her to bring this whole thing to a close. Right now we're at proposal price quote, and it also keeps track of everything that we've offered to her and gives us a pipeline value. And again, sorry, I do know that I'm going rather quickly, but I just want to show really just a high level view of how opportunities work and how you can use it to keep track of the sales that you are doing and for any salesperson that wants to bring this to a close. And let's say she likes that last estimate that you've done. What you can do next is that from there, you can go ahead and create a work order. And so let's go over here and I do have create a work order from this. And then this will take us to the, I don't have right, I don't have an actual, if it's a work order requires a service for somebody to go over and actually do a thing. So let's go ahead and put in a service for them. Service. Not a QuickBooks startup. Just put in some service hours. Yeah, that sounds good. Save them back. Okay, and then from there, we're just going to go ahead and create a work order. And I think we are good to go. And now we have that work order created for them. Now, if I go over to my work orders here, I can be able to see for Sanford Company Art Gallery, we have the work order. And again, this is yet another workflow from this, where you can send that out to your field services and then they will go about and complete this work order and you'll be able to track that here. And I'm not going into that particular workflow because you can imagine that brings about like even more. Maybe we'll be able to touch on that further, but we would send that work order out to our field crew. The field crew would go ahead and do the work. They'd be able to see it on their phone and so on, and then they'd be able to complete it. And you would be able to consolidate all of that here as the dispatcher, and from there create invoices. Now, that is one particular workflow, and that is that's pretty simple, right? All we've done is we've created this opportunity, and after we've created this opportunity for Amy, we've sent out the work order, and then because this she would have accepted it and we would have invoiced it, then this would eventually been closed. As you can see that it's already closed, and or is it closed? Anyway, it's a probability to have it. And anyway, it would have been closed, and then that opportunity would have been completed. And that is just one simple workflow. And I'm going to pause it here because now I want to show you what would happen if there's more to it than just a simple work order, estimate, work order, invoice, done. And that is one simple one. When you get more complex, then you probably want to go into something like jobs. But I will pause it here in case there are any questions. How are you doing over there, Mattis?
I think mostly the questions were around estimates and proposals, which I do recommend for folks to go and watch the last session that we did because that went way more into depth. We don't have quite the amount of time to cover everything related to estimates and proposals in this session. But to keep it short, you can use both. It really depends. The short answer is if you want to send something that is more robust in terms of outlining, okay, here are kind of the exact agreements, here maybe some additional documents that you need to sign. You would want to use a proposal. If you're just sending over something that has a list of items and a price attached to them, and it's a little bit more simple, an estimate will do. A lot of times people will use estimates as Errol opened the demo. If somebody's been a customer for a long time and maybe they are reordering something, or maybe they want a new service, but you don't necessarily just start an entire new engagement and relationship with them. You might just send them an estimate and the terms have already been decided in the proposal. But it depends on your business and the unique way that you have it set up. Well, back to you,
Yes.
Errol.
Oh, no, no, that's true. Thank you so much, Madison. That is very true. Again, as I said before, Method is very flexible and can handle a number of different workflows that and you might think to yourself, hey, that's not what I do. And that's why Method is great because if you can talk to your account manager, they'd be able to point at a particular workflow that fits with your industry or create a brand new one, which we will get to once we get to the customization aspect of things. So let me, I'll hint at it and not provide a customization just for you. That's a bit more, but let's talk more about this opportunity. Now, let's say that there's more to the opportunity than just a simple estimate, invoice done, or estimate workflow, invoice done. What I want to show you is that you can also create from here a job. And what a job does is that it will take all of that and put it in here available to you so that you will be able to create and keep track of everything related to this particular job after that opportunity. Now, I do notice over here, let me talk about the job. So this is for Amy Ford. And so here you might be able to keep track of, like, say, an activity that comes in. Here's another kind of like another phone call. And she says, hey, I'm free on Friday. I don't know. So if you want to send over your person to do what is it called? To do some type of inspection. And so, you can create yourself an estimate to do that inspection. And then from there, you'd be able to create I'm going really quickly here. Let's just type in inspection. And then from here, we have something called an estimate visit, where you can set up a visit. And then from there, you'll be able to create a work order from there. And again, it looks like I'm doing the exact same thing, right? I'm actually just creating a job from this, and it seems I'm doing the exact same steps that I did before. But within here, you can do far more than just a one simple workflow. Like, this work order was for doing the inspection, but now maybe I need another team to go ahead and lay the foundation because I can also put in purchase orders as well. So, in case I might decide that we need to have a person, we'll go here over to our vendor Concrete Love and they need to put in what are they going to put in? They're going to go ahead and put in some rink liners, rink things, rink floor piping. That sounds like something they will do, right? And I'm going to hit save. And now, depending on how complex your job is, you might have to open up a number of purchase orders because this is all custom. It's one of these bespoke kind of arenas that you want to do. Here we'll have the cleaners come in and they will need to clean the yard. I don't know what I mean, yeah, let's just make stuff up what they're going to do. They're going to put in some dashboards. That's what they're going to do. That doesn't make sense for cleaners, but it's fine. Okay, so they're going to put in some cleaners and so dashboards, so you need to order some dashboards from them. And then finally, the painters will come in. But as you can see, I'll be able to keep track of a whole job through here. I can assign more work orders, and your workflow might even be related more to like what needs to be done first. Like, hey, maybe I need to do the inspection first, and so we're going to book that, and then after the inspection is done, we can make sure that we don't need to order in all these things from the purchase order. So everything here is related to the job. And as you go through the whole job, obviously you'll be keeping track of that whole status. And you'll be able to, whoever is managing this particular job, be able to track and keep track of your interactions with your client, all the transactions that you have open with it, as well as any of the transactions you have open with any of your vendors. And all of that will be tracked within this job. So again, this is just a second workflow that you can follow for things that are more complex. And now, you may think to yourself, I don't see how that handles all the chaos, but it is there because now, again, everything is compartmentalized within here and gives you one place for you to manage all the different facets of your project that you have due here. And then again, I am going through it really quickly, but you do still have the ability to send these out to your field crew. They'll be able to mark it down on their phone and keep track of the progress that they've done. Now, how am I doing for time there, Mattis? Because
We're
what we
we're
are.
pretty good. We're about 20 minutes in.
Oh
So
dear,
let's
20
keep
minutes already. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Okay.
so let's keep moving along, and then we may extend the session by a couple of minutes if folks can stick around for the Q&A side. But if you need to jump right at 30 minutes, please add your questions to the Q&A box. We will tackle them at the end, and we'll send you the recording in case there's anything that you want to address. So please use that Q&A box.
Amazing. So, the things that I have covered from opportunity to order, then how jobs keep track of more complex workflows. But now, what I want to show you is what a custom workflow might possibly look like. As I said before, Method is a completely customizable platform, and what I'm showing to you here probably may have nothing to do with what you want. And so, what people have done, and you can customize it yourself, or you can get one of our crew to customize it. They have added different things onto the screens, onto each of the apps. You can add all sorts of things. But another thing you can do is you can also create your own apps. Now, what I just realized is like, oh my goodness, has all of this already been here ahead of time? Maybe I forgot to turn my customizations off. Let me go over here. Did I turn it on and was showing you the actual customized version of things? Maybe it was. Anyway, so let's go ahead and save all those changes and let's go over to my workflows and open up one of them. Let me go over here. Let me open up this one. Okay, let me go here. So one of the customizations that I have done is that that screen I just made for myself, but over here, if you take a look at the details that we have available to us, we've also created something here that will keep track of your margins. And that is something that the client wanted to do. No, technically I didn't customize this. Another person customized it, Nelson. So if it doesn't work, I can blame him and it's not my fault. And so what it does is that before cost per unit, total cost, profit, and total profit wasn't there. And that's not available out of stock. But he customized it because they wanted to see, oh, what are my margins on things? And so they added in what's another thing we can have in there? Rank liner. So it's great. And so what this cost, it's actually taking it from the items, the purchase costs. And again, you can take it from anywhere where you want. They've taken it straight from there and it's calculating it right here. And when you change your quantity, you know, it will automatically calculate all of these that is available. And then I'll hit save. And this is something that you can do with your work orders, is just to keep track of that profit so that, you know, if you're looking for a particular margin, you might think to yourself, oh, I'm going to make that much out of this much here. And you may be thinking to yourself, yeah, but I'd like to see all of that, you know, more. I mean, that's just one work order. Is there a way to see it where all the work orders in general will be, you know, summed together? And that is another customization that he added in is this wonderful area here where the work order overview is actually being shown on the left. And so we've added this nice little silver box. And again, that is not normally there, but now it's taking all the work orders. No, I only have one in here, but it will take all the work orders for this job and show it in the margin as well. That seems like a really high margin. And I thought I fixed that. Sorry, maybe I did not. There should only be just two decimal there as opposed to so many zeros, but whatever. Anyway, uh, but if as I add in more work orders for this, let's go ahead and add in a second one. Bah, bah, bah. Let's go in and we need a service and we'll put in another bloop, 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 ring liner or ring floor. We can see what our profits is and our margin and hit save. And then when I go over here, oh, but I need to name it new job for me. And we'll just hit save and back. Huzzah. And then, as I refresh the totals, they will update and show us the margins there. And this is now available like on all of our jobs. And so if I were to go into another one, actually, I don't know if I have any more jobs. Oh, I do. Blue Jet Airways. Yeah, I do. Oh, that's a huge margin. I must have did something wrong there, but or maybe I'm just a very good salesperson. I don't know. Anyway, regardless, we have customized it now because margins were very important for this business to see as they do every single job. So again, I just want to express how flexible method is so that you can customize it yourself or you can get one of our crew to customize it so that it can fit your business as perfect as it needs be so that the whatever flow that you need to follow will also be done within method itself, right? And so this is why we always encourage people to have more of a one-on-one demo because I can only show you just a generic sample, but they would be able to say, oh, hey, yeah, we'd totally be able to do that because I see that you want to keep track of, I don't know, maybe you do piano lessons and you want to keep track of all that within a schedule. Anyway, I am done. I might be over, so I do apologize, but hopefully you have a taste of just, from simple to complex, method is able to be customized and can be worked so that it fits your business. We can go on to questions. Ooh.
Appreciate it, Errol. I think one thing that is important to stress because people sometimes wonder, like I have all these different dashboards and these different screens. I have opportunities, and then I have work orders, and then I have jobs. Why am I switching between these different screens when sometimes I'm seeing the same thing? Like in jobs here, I'm seeing estimates, and in the opportunity screen, I was also seeing estimates. So I think the thing that's really important to keep in mind is who is the person in the business that is operating within this screen. Because if you think of a dispatcher or maybe somebody who's just managing all of the operations, you would 100% want them to be in this job screen where they can look at individual jobs and the work that is happening, the work that needs to be completed, scheduling out people to go and do additional work, and maybe look at all of the jobs that are in progress and be able to prioritize them quickly versus having to dig through each customer's opportunities and uncover them that way. So it's really built in a way to serve the function that each of the persons in your business has. In the same way that the mobile app, for example, would just be for your field crew people, right? They don't need access to any of this other stuff. They just need to know, here's what I got to get done, here's when, here's where I'm going, these are the limitations around this customer. So it's person dependent and contextual based on each person.
Yes, very true. I'm sorry I didn't mention that myself, but I have almost all the apps open to me, but we can't. If Mattis was the salesperson, he might not see the whole jobs app. He might not even see the work orders app. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. Maybe he's only focused on making that sale. So you would be able to at least, as Mattis said, make it more contextual towards the job of the person who is working on in your business.
Okay, amazing. Thank you, Errol. And we have about a minute left in terms of the schedule time. So let's flip over back to our slides and close us out. So a quick poll as we wrap things up. We'd love to hear from you. Would you be interested in learning more about Methods CRM? Please let us know. Answer the poll. It'll take about 2 seconds to click yes or no, and then we will know if we should follow up with additional information or if you're kind of just exploring and still evaluating things and where to go there.
Says I can't
Next,
vote.
It seems like I'm seeing the response. Oh, you probably can't vote, Errol. Yeah. So
Sorry. Yeah.
if we flip to the next screen, other ways to learn more about Method, we have a subreddit. It is frequented by both internal Method experts as well as external partners and customers who have done a lot of work and customizations with the platform. So you could ask a question there. And then also other ways to learn more about Method. If you haven't started a trial yet, you can go and poke around at the platform itself. If you decide that you want to use it, you'll get 25% off for your first 3 months if you start with 3 or more user licenses. You can always book a demo with one of our product specialists, again, to talk through those specific scenarios that your business is trying to accomplish. And if you're looking for customization, we do offer those services and consultations, and you can get a free hour of customization on us as you get started. Okay, and I think that's all of our content for today. Next week, we're covering how to keep customers engaged and coming back with our proposals workflows and reporting workflows and health scores and all that kind of good stuff. So join us next week if you've got questions and interest around there. I don't see any other questions coming in. I think most of them have been answered through the chat.
Cool. Oh,
Errol,
good job, Michelle, or whomever is answering those questions. Thank you very much. That's great. I have a question. I haven't built any of this stuff yet, so I guess we have work ahead of us. Oh,
we
dear.
do have a bit of work before next week. So uh, join us next week to figure out how far, Errol has gotten and all this stuff. Thanks, everybody. Take care.